universe of games and anime. Brandon is going to, or REMO317, as you can see on screen, he's going to be talking a little bit about a movie that just came out that has spawned quite a debate between two different sides in terms of whether or not they thought it was going to be worth watching. Captain America Civil War.
Okay, guys. In my opinion, it's a great, awesome flick. A lot of the fans are saying that, but not just fans. All of the critics are saying this is a must-see. To me, it is... You know how we see Batman, The Dark Knight, with Heath Ledger as the Joker, as... It's not just a comic book movie, it is a great overall movie, right? I think this movie falls in line with that thinking. The action is superb, but the story is so good. You think you're going to go in there picking a side, but you really don't. You see both aspects. You see why they're falling apart in friendship and why everybody are drawing these lines, while at the same time, there is still a little bit of that Marvel humor that we do love, especially in the moments that need that levity, which some movies, some people say, discluded and it kind of hurt. But at the same time, you still get that seriousness, and it really draws you in. It makes you feel for these characters. By the end of this movie, you're like, holy fuck. Like, how, like, it almost hurts you like watching two friends go at it that you've been lifelong friends with. It seriously hits you like that. Now, to talk about the action, this movie is jam-packed. The beginning half is amazing, and it gets overshadowed by the one that everybody's talking about, which is the airport scene, which is a... If you know comic books, you know what a splash panel is. They literally brought the splash panel to life. There are amazing scenes that I thought I would never, ever see in my entire life. Even with comic book movies becoming such a big thing now, I never thought I would see what I read as a child come to life on the screen. And god damn it, it's better than what I could ever thought or imagine. Now, when it comes to this movie, do you need to see the other ones to watch it? No, you can still enjoy it. But to get the whole aspect of it and the real feels for it, it doesn't hurt to see Winter Soldier or at least the first Avengers movie. But you can totally see this movie without it. The character plots are dead on. The story arcs are amazing. And somehow, even with these two new side characters they just bring into this movie, which is Black Panther and Spider-Man, they set them up very well and in a very believable manner. Black Panther literally has a full-on story arc throughout this entire thing that's not hashed in, thrown in. It actually fits with the story. Dear God, he do an amazing job. I cannot remember his name at this time, but really good. And Holland, I think his name is, the guy from Ender's Game. He is the best Spider-Man that has ever been put on screen. Tobey Maguire doesn't even come close. And don't get me started on the second guy. This dude is Peter Parker. He is Spider-Man. Now, if you guys ever seen any of the trailers, you would have to agree that it looked exciting to have Spider-Man in there, but me, myself, I was apprehensive about it. But God, they pull me over in a heartbeat. Any thoughts on this? I'm telling you, this is worthwhile to go see. A lot of people were turned off. Some people really love Batman v Superman. Some didn't. It's up to you to believe. But I've heard a few people who are like, I didn't really want to go see it because I don't know if I was going to get what I wanted out of it since Batman v Superman. And they go, thank God I was happily surprised.
I'm glad that you didn't see Scarlet Witch and Vision start a relationship in that, like Hulk and Black Widow.
Oh, yeah, we're going into spoilers territory, but yes, and both their characters are actually very well fleshed out in this one. You'll actually like Scarlet Witch and actually understand her motives a hell of a lot better than what you did in Age of Ultron. She actually has some very good moments in this movie that definitely... She becomes one of your favorites. No doubt. Did you see it, by the way, Justin?
Bits and pieces.
Oh, you saw bits and pieces? Well, from what you saw, what did you think about it?
I mean, I felt that it was pretty good. I mean, it was done well, setting up the Infinity Wars very well.
Now, what did you think of that ending and that, what you found out? Don't give it away, but did you think they pulled off the moment between the two characters and why they were... Did you believe in it, and did you feel that ending?
It's hard to say. I mean, part of me does, but then there's another part of me that's just like, yeah, that could have been a little bit better. I mean, I'm trying not to give away spoilers. It's hard to say.
So where does it rack up for you then? And let's say, where does it rack up for your favorite Marvel movie and overall comic book movie? Because to me, it's right there with Winter Soldier.
Oh, yeah.
I feel that it's definitely cracked the top 5 so far.
Yeah. Now, do you think the story was a lot more than what you thought you were getting into, or was it something you could see without seeing the other movies?
It's something you can see without seeing the other movies. I mean, the story itself is pretty standalone.
Any thoughts or questions?
Um, I don't. I've been apprehensive about it because I've been a comic book fan. I've read the Civil War back and forth. I've read each of the individual Civil Wars
Mm-hmm.
that are out there, and been it's been a real struggle for me to want to see it because the Civil War basically was just it wasn't 8 people or however many they have. It was a very good portion of the DC universe that was part of this.
Marvel, you mean?
And um like Daredevil was part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Spider-Man was part of it. Spider-Man had a good part of it before the Civil War actually started. There was... You had, I believe... you had pretty much every Marvel... You even had the X-Men that were part of it.
Well,
For me, it was just... I was very apprehensive when I heard that the Civil War was coming out. Although I wanted to see it, I just didn't know how they would achieve it on screen.
Okay, so to what you just said, does it have that many characters? No, there's no way they could right now, and I don't even see within the next 10 years. Does it change the story some? Oh, yes, it does. But did it earn the name, and does it deserve it at the end of the day? I think it does. Because it might not follow the same story, it has the same theme. And it follows it very well, and it sets up a new story, which draws you in just as much as the original Civil War. And it pays off the same amount without having to go to the same as the Civil War did in the comics. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If you go in there and think of it as its own Civil War, you will wholeheartedly enjoy it. But yes, it's less characters, but it makes it more personal, too, at the same time, and more in-depth, if you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then, let's be honest, you can never do the Civil War comics unless you made, like, a 6-part movie, which I would be down for.
Well, I believe there will be more parts of it. I don't know if anyone's read the comics. I'm not going to say anything. But, well, so you know what actually happens at the end.
Oh, yeah, I do, and I know.
As far as I know, that is the way Marvel's going to go. Because a certain character's... I'm not going to say anything, but someone's contract is up, and I believe that's the way they're going to go. Because they don't want to continue. That's as far as I know, is how Marvel's going to do it. So I do believe there's going to be more movies.
There's going to be more movies, but I think you're going to be surprised about how this one turns out then. It's really good. Like, are you a fan of Black Panther?
I've read his comics. I mean, I'm surprised they introduced him in the Civil War first, but yes.
They actually did an amazing job of telling and showing who he is in such a short amount of time, which is breathtaking. And they did the same thing with Spider-Man. And these are the most two true adaptations I've seen from comic books of characters so far, next to Deadpool, is the new Spider-Man and him.
Yeah. I'm still thanking God they fixed Deadpool. Jesus Christ.
No, you and me both.
I still refuse. I refuse to watch Wolverine's Origins ever again.
That is like the worst movie next to Batman and Robin.
Which one?
I said that is the worst comic book movie next to Batman and Robin. That, and let's throw in the newest Fantastic Four. Those are like the 3 most rotten comic book movies ever made.
Yeah. I didn't even bother with the new Fantastic Four.
I didn't either. I knew it was a shit show before it came out. This one, I think you would dig. I think you would definitely dig it. Just go in there knowing that it is going to be different story-wise from the Civil War from the comics, but it's going to be, you're going to enjoy it just as much and get as much out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds like